The darkness always comes before the dawn. When we're going through the hardest times, where it feels like there's no way out, that's usually the most transformational moment of our lives. When we go through those times, we're shedding the old layer of who we used to be. So this way we can prepare and be ready for the next level. When I was literally down bad, the lowest of lows, that's when I became a Harlem Globetrotter. And that's what this video is about. My story, my testimony, and how that moment truthfully changed my life forever. Forever. Now, anytime I'm going through those hard times, that straight darkness, where it seems like literally, how am I going to get out of this? That's when I lock in. That's when I know I've been through this. I know there's a way out. I know this is just testing me, shaping me, building me. That's where our story begins. I tried out for the WNBA 2021. I didn't make it. At that point, I had already been a professional. I had played overseas. I have many stories. It's about to be basketball chronicles. I drove my car from Pennsylvania to Texas. I had never even been to Texas. Packed all my stuff. Decided I was going to try out for the WNBA. Dollar and a dream. I get to the tryout. It's literally a joke. People are running around crazy. And I fed into the chaos. I'll be real with you. I fed into the chaos. Didn't play my game. Didn't do what I needed to do because I allowed the outer world, other people, and circumstance to dictate my inner state instead of the other way around. I'm not perfect. It is what it is. I had to go through it. And after that combine, I spoke with my mom and she said, sometimes God wants you to trust him. Maybe he's going to bring you something better. I was like, what could be better? What could be better than this? I put everything into this, everything. All my money, my time, my energy. I moved to Texas for 3 months in preparation. I lost friends over it. I literally changed my life for this dream and I didn't get it. And I felt like me and God were here with it. Like, I prayed. I wrote my journal. I had the vision. I dedicated 3 months after my whole life to this game, specifically for this moment. And it didn't pan out. So I didn't know what I was going to do, honestly. So it was back to the drawing board. My agent was talking about going back overseas. So I played in this showcase exposure event in the Dominican Republic. I'm not going to say much about it. Stranger things. However, it didn't work out. And I came back to San Antonio, played on this team, the San Antonio Surge, which doesn't exist anymore. And we had a game in Oklahoma, Enid, Oklahoma, aka the middle of nowhere. So I started balling. And in that game, my arm came off. Someone fell on top of me and tore off my arm. It was still connected through the skin, but I dislocated my shoulder. It was the worst injury I'd ever had in my life. And I was down bad. Like, there wasn't even an ambulance there. So I had to go wait in the waiting room at the emergency room. They weren't even taking me to the back. And I was just like, bruh, this is my career. Oh, and it was my shooting arm. So I didn't know what I was going to do. And I had to go back to Pennsylvania. They put it back in. I had to go back to Pennsylvania to find out. I tore my labrum because I didn't have insurance. So I had to go back to my hometown, get the government insurance, and decided I was not going to get surgery. I tore my labrum, but I didn't tear my ligaments. So I decided to rehab my way back and move back to San Antonio, even though I couldn't play. I was in a sling, and I just started doing some baby movements at the gym, like just trying to get it to move like a normal person again. Never mind playing basketball. And I didn't have any more money because I was financially tapped out because I put everything into the dream. So I was actually staying on a teammate's couch. Shout out to Crystal. When I got the call from my high school AU coach, Isaiah Walker, he called me on the phone out of nowhere. Truthfully, out of nowhere. And he told me he got me a tryout for the Harlem Globetrotters. I was like, first of all, I'm hurt. I don't know how you expect me to do a tryout. You know, can we reschedule when I'm feeling better? I can't shoot. There's no way I can go to this tryout. Yo, man, you gotta be ready. This is your chance. I was like, how am I gonna do this tryout? He's like, they're flying you out. Be ready. Had no idea what I was gonna do. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's having fear and looking it dead in the face and saying, this is what we doing. Went to the gym, went straight to Lifetime, started doing more movements with my arm, went straight to the gym, started getting shots up, and was just breathing and praying. I got some very wise advice from a spiritual mentor of mine, which is another phrase that I always keep with me. I learned a lot from this testimony. And the phrase is, what if you can do it? What if you can? Not like, oh, I have to. But what if you can do it? What if you can? So I took that phrase and ran with it. I just kept telling myself, what if you can? So they got my information. They flew me out to Wildwood, New Jersey. Showed up to the tryout. And it was my day. It was meant to be. From the moment I walked in, it was my day. I was making all my 3-pointers. I was even making 4-pointers. When it came time to scrimmage, I wasn't even going to scrimmage. I kept telling Isaiah, like, yo, you need to tell him I'm hurt. I can't do the scrimmage. Oh, and I was the only girl. This is like a private tryout because it was during COVID. There weren't even a lot of people there. First play of the scrimmage, I come down, take old dude off the dribble, pump faked him, and he was dead serious trying to block me. He fell out of bounds. Flew right over me. I just laid it up. I knew I made it. From that moment, my entire life changed. People looked at me different, like I could walk on water. People would just give me stuff just because I was a Globetrotter. I went from the bottom to the top. And it just seemed like it was overnight to most people. It was not overnight. It was years and decades. A lot of 6 a.m. A lot of not having a rebounder. A lot of sticking to the vision when nobody else knew why I was waking up so early going to the gym. And in those moments when you're by yourself and you're grinding, those moments are shaping you. They're shaping you for when your moment calls. It doesn't always call right away. We think, oh, we in the gym. Why am I not getting called? It's not going to call right away. You're going to get the call when you're ready or when you're least expecting it. And then you got to make a decision. That's the test. It's like you said you want this life. And I didn't even know it was the Globetrotters. Like, I didn't know that was going to be the vision. I thought it was a WNBA. But being a Globetrotter actually matched more to what I was describing, to what I was feeling inside. Traveling the world, being a star, helping others, being the only girl on the court. All of those things matched what I internally wanted. I just thought it was the WNBA. But God knows best. He knows what's best for you. And people who don't believe in God, maybe you never had something like this happen to you, or someone go through something like this and they share it with you. And I hope this story can get to you so you can understand. I could have never planned this out. This happened divinely, for sure. For sure. There's no way I'm basically on my basketball deathbed and I get the call. That's crazy. And I had to be courageous enough to take the call and face my fear. To take the challenge. And to continuously give myself positive self-talk. What if I can do it? Because if you believe that you can do something or you believe that you can't, you are correct. What you believe about yourself is true. That's your self-image. And I've always believed in myself. Even when I'm down bad. And you don't have to believe all the way. It doesn't have to be, oh, I believe, I'm so confident when you're missing. No, but you got to keep it alive. Keep the belief alive. Even if you're down, keep it alive. Because in due time, when it's your moment, you're going to get the call. I want to be someone that shares their testimony, that inspires and lets you know that you can do it. You can. You can't give up, though. Do not give up. I could have given up. What would have happened if I gave up? I don't know. And this is one of many stories. This is about to be a diary. I'm about to share these stories to inspire the next generation of hoopers or any hooper that's going through something so you can understand that you can do it.